Welcome to your Saga Oasis. You need to listen before divorcing. I want to tell a story about a couple standing on the brink of marital collapse. In a fateful conversation, the husband suggested divorce as a release for both of them. The wife, after much effort to remain calm, asked him if he had truly thought it through. Upon his affirmation that he had considered it thoroughly before deciding, she made one last request. For a month, every morning when going to work, he must carry her from the bed to the car, as they used to do when they were newly married. The husband agreed easily. Initially, the task seemed simple. The husband even reluctantly carried his wife in a not-so-happy mood. But day by day, their child began to notice and show joy in seeing his father carry his mother. The child even proudly boasted to friends about his father's beautiful act. Day by day, this became an important part of their family life, and the husband gradually realized that with each morning's carry, his wife seemed a bit lighter. He started noticing changes in her. She had lost weight visibly. Her eyes were sunken with dark circles, bearing pain he had never noticed before. He became aware of the hurt he had caused and began to feel a deep remorse. Many years ago, he had taken her home, a beautiful woman who many people wanted to marry and who had a lot of admirers. Ultimately, she chose him, a decision that filled him with immense pride and gratitude. But over the years, he pondered what he had done to make her become so frail and weak. She never complained, nor did she demanded nothing. She simply lay quietly in his arms, gentle as a cat. Day by day, he felt a heart-wrenching pain when he looked at his wife, beginning to feel self-reproach and acknowledging his significant responsibility in their marriage. He started to reminisce about their sweet memories when they first fell in love. He realized he still loved his wife, but his boundless greed had blinded him. He had set many unnecessary standards for his wife, compared her with others, losing sight of her true beauty. He always wanted her to change, but ultimately, he recognized that by controlling his own greed, she would still be the lovely, faithful wife and cherished life partner she always was. And on the last day, as he carried his wife from the bed to the car, tears fell down his cheeks onto hers. He promised to carry her like this for the rest of their lives. Their child heard this and cheered with utmost happiness, while his wife's face beamed with joy and content. Sometimes, we believe that giving up on a relationship is the right decision, that distancing and removing the other person is necessary. However, in reality, this is when emotions like pride, regret, jealousy, and selfishness prevail. If only each of us could give each other a chance to return to a peaceful countryside where there is the healing energy of nature. Before deciding whether to continue or end a relationship, treat each other as friends. Stop and think. Instead of hastily letting go of the significant relationship, try letting go of smaller things like work or daily responsibilities to feel the recovery of your own abilities. The small things you let go of temporarily, after 3 weeks or a month, you can completely retrieve. Let those go, and at the same time, add others. Introduce into your life the healing energy from nature, from picnics. When connecting with the present moment deeply, you will be able to make a wise decision about whether or not to let go of a major relationship. Don't rush to give up on something big immediately. Instead, free yourself from the pressures of work, personal reputation, and desires from the small things that consume your energy first. It's these small things that exhaust you, contributing to the thought of giving up on something big. Return to yourself, to nature. Participating in trips, volunteer activities, or just catalysts means to help you restore your inner strength, original resilience, and your own purity and clarity. You may think you're letting go, but in reality, you're holding on to the most important things. We often think that letting go is necessary when we feel too tired, exhausted, stressed, and afraid. But sometimes we just need to find balance, strength, and stability without necessarily having to let go of the things that are important, perhaps the most important in our lives. During this process, we realize that emotions like jealousy, anger, blame, or complaining, accusing each other are natural human instincts. These emotions, while they can cause pain, also bring strength and depth to life and art. Sometimes, not letting go of these emotions is the way to truly enjoy and experience life. In a relationship, especially in marriage, managing these emotions is important. If we cannot control them, they will affect our partner. However, if our partner is strong and self-controlled, they can not only endure, but also help us change. Although jealousy can be seen as an expression of love, it is controlled jealousy with well-awareness of its actions and consequences that truly represents love. When it comes to letting go, we should not continue indulging in negative habits like listening to sad music or songs that make us feel miserable and weak. Instead, we should seek out sources that nourish our spirit, such as listening to Dharma talks or positive songs, things that awaken our inner values and restore energy, bringing us back to our best selves. Accessing such positive spiritual food is crucial. If you find yourself drawn to negative mental food, you should cut back on it. Sometimes, we pick up the phone to call someone else. At times, you need to avoid negative advice from others who might reinforce our intention to give up by comparing our suffering to their marital happiness. Calling someone can sometimes lead to seeking sympathy, finding someone to support our point of view, reinforcing our decision to let go. Your mother or boss might offer unhelpful advice, adding pressure on you. This increases the likelihood of making poor decisions if you are easily influenced by external factors. Therefore, it's crucial to cut off the supply of these toxic inputs. Every decision should be made based on your wisdom and clarity, because only you truly understand the other person in your marriage. When you share with others, you often only mention the negatives, the flaws, without acknowledging the good that person brings into your life. Sometimes you even exaggerate their faults based on your own pride and emotions. The truth isn't always as you imagine, and both you and those advising you have psychological wounds that need healing. Thus, they might tend to advise you to give up on the relationship. Therefore, your marriage should not depend on others' views and decisions. The responsibility for our lives lies in our own hands, requiring the courage to abandon negative habits to avoid future regrets. If you've worked on improving yourself and sorting out your problems, but still feel that ending the relationship is the right choice, then it's okay to accept that. This means you've reached your limit. On the other hand, if you notice you've changed and your heart feels more open, maybe you don't need to give up. You're strong enough to keep this marriage going and take control of it. Suffering isn't entirely negative. It can even be a necessary ingredient for us to appreciate the value of happiness. However, too much suffering can leave us tired and afraid. Therefore, we shouldn't feed the idea that we need to be jealous or make the other person suffer. Jealousy and suffering can not only push the other person away, but also lead us to question why things turned out this way. It's important to realize that the other person can't always be at their best. Living and loving consciously, being jealous consciously, everything that happens should be approached with awareness and clarity. Divorce doesn't mean you'll feel relieved or comfortable afterward, because the emotional wounds remain. And in this battle, no one wins. Even if you initiated the breakup, you'll still carry deep wounds and lose self-confidence, which can lead to depression. Therefore, even if you've decided to separate, you need to be ready with techniques, skills, and special energy to deal with the mental challenges after the marriage ends. This includes dealing with work responsibilities, parenting, and coping with other post-divorce issues. I recommend that for at least a month, you should focus on nurturing your soul, finding balance, and living in the present without dwelling on the past or that person. Whenever you remember the unhappy times with them, remind yourself to return to meditation and regain a healthy mental state. After 3 weeks or a month, you may not have resolved all inner issues or fully regained balance, but you will have gained the calmness and clarity to make decisions again. Who knows? Once your heart has healed, you might see your marital relationship from a new perspective and give the other person a chance to change. Nothing is impossible. Believe in your inner strength and understand that sometimes it's necessary to put unresolved issues aside. If after many attempts to resolve those issues you haven't succeeded, it might be time to stop, because continuing could only wear you out. You need to be aware of your current capabilities. If you find yourself unable to tackle a problem, persisting might lead to worse outcomes and future regrets. This is when you should work on improving yourself to the best of your ability, or at least achieve a balance. So when you make a decision, you won't have regrets anymore. It's the end of the video. Thank you for joining us today. And don't miss out on more videos from us by subscribing and turning on the notification bell icon.